dear friends, most of you very well remember the story of James's misfortune with some bees. However, I will admit I barely mention how he and his crew got rid of them, as there is so much I couldn't fit all into one of my engine books. After going through my archives in the station master's office, here's the full story of how the actual events played out. I hope you enjoy hearing it. Wilbert Awdry.
It was a lovely day on the island of Sodor. Birds are singing, and apples were ripening on the trees. James the Red Engine was puffing dutifully along with the local passenger train to Brendam Docks. He stopped at a signal by the vicarage orchard. Trevor the traction engine was working close by.
Hello, Trevor. You look as bright and cheerful as my red paint.
Oh, I am, thank you, James.
I say, what's that noise?
It's the bees. You see, they're all in these boxy wooden things called beehives. I'm taking them to Tidmouth Station. The vicar says his bees make very good honey, and he's going to give some of them to his friends.
Just then, BoCo, the big diesel engine, hummed in with the goods train. He was new to the railway just a few days ago and was slowly learning his way round.
Take care, you two. Don't make the bees angry. They might sting you.
James snorted. He never liked diesels, and he certainly never wanted to be told what to do by one especially. So when the signal turned green, he just buzzed away.
Thanks for the warning, BoCo. And don't worry, I know the bees very well, so I'll be all right with them.
Good to know. Well, I best be off then. Goodbye, Trevor.
A short time later, BoCo had arrived at Knapford Station with no bother and arranged his trucks. Then he went to Tidmouth Sheds and asked politely if he could come in. The only engine there was Duck, whom at first was not impressed to see a diesel. But presently, when he found that BoCo knew Edward, he became more friendly. And before long, they were talking and laughing together like old friends.
So, BoCo, who else did you meet besides Edward?
Only the twin tank engines, Bill and Ben. Though I will say this, the first time we met, they were running around me so much that my eyes nearly popped out. Ha 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 ha! Luckily, Edward soon put a stop to their games. Have they ever played tricks on you too?
Oh, goodness me, yes. Edward is the only one who could keep Bill and Ben in order. You know, just between us, I sometimes call them the Bees.
A good name. They're terrors when they stop buzzing around.
Just then, James came bustling in, though he didn't listen to the entire conversation.
What's that, Duck? Are you afraid of bees? They're only insects after all, so don't let that buzzbox diesel tell you different.
His name is BoCo, and he didn't. We were just...
I wouldn't care if hundreds were swarming around. I just blow smoke and make them buzz off.
Is that so? Well then, buzz, buzz, buzz.
James retired into a huff without saying another word. The next morning, Gordon was busy elsewhere, so James was rostered to pull the express. Duck brought the coaches into Tidmouth Station and went away to shunt some trucks. Meanwhile, the platform was crowded with excited passengers keen to get on board. Amongst them, 2 porters were in a hurry. They were taking a loaded trolley to the luggage van that just so happened to have one of the vicar's beehives.
Mind your backs, coming through. Whoa, careful, Fred, careful. We don't want to drop this delicate load. Oh, you worry too much, Bert. What's the worst that could happen?
Suddenly, an oblivious old lady appeared out of nowhere in front. Fred and Bert stopped dead, but the sudden force caused the beehive to topple over and broke open. James had just came backing down onto the coaches and was looking forward to a fast run in the morning light when he heard a familiar buzzing. Before anyone realized it, some bees flew out from the now splintered hive. Someone shouted a warning, and the station cleared like magic. The bees, however, were much too cold and sleepy to be cross, so they buzzed around the fireman, hoping he'd mend their hive. But he didn't understand, nor did his driver, who swatted the little insects with a shovel. The bees, disappointed, turned their attention to James. The big red engine's boiler was nice and warm. They lovingly swarmed round it blissfully. James, however, wasn't pleased.
Oi, shoo away! Buzz off! Buzz off! I said, buzz off, you pesky little buggers. Hasn't anyone taught you how to study your own behavior? Hello?
Then there was trouble. One bee accidentally settled on his hot smoke box. It burnt its foot. The bee thought James had stung it on purpose. So it stung James back, right on the nose.
All right, that's it. I've had enough of this foul play. We're getting out of here.
James couldn't agree more, and without waiting for the guard's whistle, he and his crew didn't notice till too late that they left the express behind. Meanwhile, BoCo had just backed down onto his trucks that Duck had arranged for him earlier. He was just about to set off when the fat controller arrived.
Leave your trucks, please, BoCo. I'm afraid we've got an emergency and we need your help.
Why? What's wrong, sir?
James was supposed to take the express, but has left his coaches behind due to an incident with some bees. All the other engines are busy with their own work, so I'd like you to pull it in his place instead.
Yes, sir, but what about my trucks? I can't just leave them.
No worries, BoCo. I promise to look after them for you.
The fat controller agreed, and with everything arranged, BoCo hurried off to the station. He was soon coupled to the express, and the passengers, having just come back when the coast was clear, scrambled into the train. Once the signal dropped, the guard blew the whistle, and BoCo purred away. He had a wonderful time roaring through the countryside with the wind blowing across his face. He even managed to gain back some of the lost time, and the passengers were very impressed. Meanwhile, James and his crew were trying everything they could to get rid of the bees. First they spun on the turntable, but to no avail. They tried washing them off, but the bees clung harder to James's warm boiler. Then they tried smoking them off again by going through a long tunnel, but still the bees wouldn't go away.
I give up. My nose still hurts, and those stupid bees won't leave me alone. Can't we do something else about it?
There's only one thing we can do, old boy. We'll just have to go back to the vicarage orchard and fetch another hive. I'm pretty sure the vicar wouldn't mind.
James's reply was drowned by the sound of buzzing, unsurprisingly. At the orchard, the vicar had just been informed of what happened and was now waiting anxiously for James. Trevor stood nearby.
Oh, I do hope my bees are okay.
Don't worry, sir. I'm sure he'll bring them back safe and sound. Oh, speaking of whom, here he comes!
When James arrived, just as his driver expected, the bees swarmed straight into their new home.
Thank you for saving my bees, James. Sorry about your nose, though.
Don't mention it, sir. At least I don't have to put up with them anymore. I thought they'd never go away.
Come on, James. What you need now is a good hose down. Then you'll feel much better.
James went thankfully back home, hoping the sheds would be empty that evening. However, Duck and BoCo have already told the other engines. No one seemed to notice James when he returned to the yard. They were talking about a new kind of beehive on wheels. It was red, they said, and they all went, "Buzz, buzz, buzz."
You know, it's a pity it's not Christmas. Then we would have called James the red-nosed engine.
Everyone laughed a lot, but James thought that for big mainline engines, they were being very silly indeed.